Hi, everyone. Welcome to Let's Bee Telepathy, a podcast about you and everyone around you. We dive deep into the world of telepathy, of spirituality, topics that anyone wants to talk about, and life in general. We are a community here for everyone, even if you are a speaker or you do not have anybody in your life that uh, is a non speaker. The and that being said, we're jumping right in today. I love that today was a little bit intimate. I did not post everywhere as I usually do, just because we're gonna have a little bit on the Zoom meeting today, but I have hundreds of messages that I've been getting all week long from multiple people, and their words are so important and need to be said, but I think everyone just kind of cleared the room for some of these topics that we really need to talk about. But first, we're going to go ahead and start with James. He had an important question, and I'm going to hand it over to him.
Hi, Melissa. Hello, everybody. Whoops. Yes, I was recently reading a comment a mom posted regarding her son, and she had thought through the years before he was open of all the doctor's visits and all of the prognosis and trying to figure out what was wrong from toxicity, heavy metals, parasites, all, yeast overgrowth, that she felt that that layering over the years had sort of possibly maybe contributed to OCD and feeling like he was always sick and he didn't know um, you know where to turn, what was up and what was down and all of that stuff. And she had said that she she had success and he gained some relief through, quote, energetically shifting and transmuting the health exacerbation. So I see energetic clearing coming up a lot, and I was wondering if you could speak to that, of just in general what that is, what the process is, if that is something that we can do at home with our kids. And and lastly, our situation specifically with the being homebound and not getting outside. I'm wondering if that can possibly play a role here, because that is the outside world and electrosmog and EMFs and cell phone towers and 5G and Wi-Fi signals. These are all things that I'm greatly concerned about in life. And I'm wondering sort of if my sort of low level anxiety could be contributing, sort of, am I projecting that onto him through the years and sort of in a similar way? And if it could be just another avenue to look towards to sort of clear the air, um, pun intended, I guess.
Oh, I love, I love that you said that. So, yeah, there's a few things on that, and it will be very great to talk about. So, uh, energy work. Every single thing in this world is made out of energy. We were all started from energy. The first thing, so I can best explain it by telling you all how I do energy work. And I will even put out a video explaining it. So this is uh, what I spoke about when I went taught at Harvard and spoke about energy healing and whatnot. So it's just best for me to bring you guys all the way back. So when I go into energy healing, what I always see um, is I see this blackness. And me personally, I go in and I connect to myself to see where I am. And then I connect to the person to see where they're at. And once that connection hits, I kind of go into their system and I go into the system to say, where is the beginning? And I focus my energy and their energy to the beginning. Every single person that I see goes to this black state. There's no depth, there's no color, there's no shapes, there's nothing. Once I get into that, I ask creator to show me the start and how they began. And creator always comes out and there's a high pitched energy sound or a high pitch frequency, like really loud, and then a low one. And those are the spectrums that the person is always in. So that we're always made from a certain frequency that's the highest and the lowest. Those energies they eventually come together. And then it kind of sounds like I'm old. So or I'm older, I'm 46. And back in my day we had the dial-up and internet, which you guys probably know of too. And back then it was like that sound that was making was trying to find a channel that it could work on and that the internet could work on. And that's pretty much what happens when the high and the low hit. When they hit, they kind of fight for where do they belong. Eventually there's this big spark, and there's all these little things that kind of look like stars. It's little bright points that look like stars. The frequencies still carry out, and then the sound hits the light. When the sound hits the light starts to rattle and it starts to get energy, and now it has frequency and light. But the light and the frequency and like the sound frequency actually don't go together, and I'm waiting for science to really pull them apart, because sound does travel faster than light. But when it starts to hit, let's say that I'm going to do something better here. Let's say that the frequency is hit and all of the energy came out like this. Now in quantum computing, this is called a trap code. They'll actually lay out these little dots and whatnot. Well, let's say that a frequency starts and it hits this little guy here, right? And this guy starts to get excited and it kind of grows with sound and energy, but eventually the light will push it out. So let's say this frequency is pushed up here. And now this gets excited. And now it pushes here. And this gets, and it goes all the way until it's closed. Once it's closed, you now have a shape. The shape will conform to a specific color. So let's say this is a purple square. If it does not conform, then sometimes the frequencies will still hit off, and they just might make something like this. This is a constellation. Some of them will even make things such as symbols, maybe, and the frequencies will try to cross paths but never leave the actual symbol. Now we have the base coding, the frequencies, the sounds, the shapes, the color. And so when we're talking in autism about coding, this is what we're talking about. What is in our system? And we were all designed with something sacred coming to earth. So now we see what the systems are. When that happens, there is a connection. Now you have the person's coding and they actually have yours. There's a certain connection with the two people that will bring you into a either excited state. It will bring you into an emotional state. It will bring you into a place where you're calm. There will be a very definite change. Now, even if you don't have the vision, you can still have the intent to put your hands on that person and say, I want to know your sacred coding, where you came from. And you can just think, and you don't even have to put your hands on them. Like my hands are already getting hot just thinking about it. So I don't know who the energy is going to, maybe all of you out there, but you'll start to feel a temperature difference within your hands. That means that sometimes it's hot, cold, sometimes it's even tingles and you don't feel the different temperature. Sometimes you feel pressurization. But what that is the merging of the energy is coming together. This actually in our office, we can see this through thermodynamics, is that with a thermal imager, their energy is actually kind of mend into one. And it's not just their the heat that's around them. It's actually the auras and stuff. When we tap into somebody else in a way of love and meditation and openness to divine energy, which is very important. And now I don't lead people to say you have to believe in this God, this creator, but you should believe in something that is greater than you, a source above you that will work through you and will work to clear the divine and make the divine coding. So whoever you pray to or you go to, before I really understood what creator and God was, to me they're the same. um, I relied on the universe, sometimes on trees, so you can connect to things that are big, just bigger than you. It could even be earth, and ask for that to come through and show you where that energy needs to go. When you truly connect, now you have the trinity, you have you, the person, and something else working through you. Now you are in a state of the divine energy, and the divine energy naturally will work through you. I actually don't do a lot during my sessions. I might wave my hands, but I surrender, and then I just let my body feel like it's floating in water. And wherever my hands go, whatever I feel like I need to say, whatever I feel like I need to do, I do, because sometimes when we're sitting in front of someone and they need to move energy and they don't, we're going to move energy. What's happening in that moment is affirming who they are, affirming that what they feel is uncomfortable. As I said, you might feel different emotions in that. We are actually working when we get the thermodynamics, then we're also activating our DNA, then we're also activating our spirituality, our heart, our mind, our body. And when we relinquish the thoughts of who we are and what our purpose is in that moment, and we just say, we are with you and we are here to help in any which way. You don't want to force, you just want to be of guidance. And when you're that safe place, and the same thing really works with telepathy. Telepathy is a type of energy work, and the way that you would get to it is a little different, but it's creating that soft spot, that safe spot that says, we are here together in this moment, and we're going to work through the things that we don't understand, and we're going to say the things that need to be said. It's an energy, you're working in the things that you don't necessarily understand, and in telepathy it's with the things that need to be said, but the energy of the connection with people are the same. It's it's getting to the most extreme empathy that you can, and putting on every cell to open up to somebody else's feelings. When you do that, you will feel discord, you will hear discord, you will see something that they change their face, or your hearing is gonna change. You might hear high pitch, you might feel like you're under pressure. You might get pressurization in the head or different spots in the body. All of that is telling you what needs to be fixed. So if you're hearing the frequencies, and the frequencies are loud, and that's what is wrong, you could do the humming. You can change your body, because when I'm sitting like this and then I move, my frequencies are really different than if I just are like this. So just the change in the movement, of where you are can also change those frequencies within that. And what we're doing is we're tapping into that person until we both find a place of rest. Because when and we'll take James for example, he has a problem with going outside. So one of the things that you can do when you're doing your healing is you can implement through your thoughts, you can implement through memories and experiences your good parts that you've had in nature. So sitting with him and saying, son, I want to do, thought sharing with you. I want to do energy work with you. I want to help you in whatever way. That is setting that tone and that intent for what you want to do. Setting him down there, you can ask him, what do you need from me? Is it energy? If it is, sometimes you'll feel, um, and now it's going to be different for you. When people really need energy, for me, my hands get hot around them. When they need less energy and they need me to pull energy, my hands get cold, and then I pull my hands back from them. Um, when I'm feeling different tingles, then that's telling me, like, that's a little antenna, that's where I need to work harder in. So it's really going to matter, and you might feel a little differently as you're going through all of that. But sitting down with him and thinking about his sacred coding, or what was the beginning, he might show you either that energy of, you might be sitting like this and say, show me where your fear is, because you're not sure how to do energy work yet. But if you just, maybe hold your hands in a way and say, show me where your fear is, and just allow for that energy to work. And in whatever way you feel comfortable, maybe you don't want to hold your hands up, but as that energy is coming at you, just feel it and acknowledge it. Because when I'm doing an energy work, I'm not searching unless they tell me to search. I'm waiting and acknowledging and being a representative and affirming what they've gone through. So they send that message, they send that energy, that discernment to me. So now I know, I'll be going through the ages in my mind, or of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then my hands will stop. And it's a kind of muscle memory that can happen. Now I know at the age 5, that was when James had the problem going outside. Well, what happened then? And now we can ask, well, what happened when you were 5? Or what coding or what shape or color were you thinking of during that? Now, if he's showing you a green square, again, we can we can change our energy, we can change our hands, we can change our body, we can change our thoughts to produce that into a blue color now. And now the blue is the new coating on him, because that's all we're really doing in healing, is we're changing the perspective of what was thought of. And so if he's had this bad memory, and it's, this a green square, and that's where he held that memory, because we go through frequency, 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 and then all of a sudden that energy holds, that memory is going to be there. So we have one or two things: is we can go back to the beginning, flip that frequency. So now this one is no longer there, and instead it's coming out here. And when that happens, now we change the coding, or we can open that up for a while, then close it up, because maybe that square was really needed. He loved going outside, he just didn't like the energy. Well, flipping that tone, oh, and I flip that, this is now green. And so what we're doing in energy work is changing a perspective. We're not only changing the perspective, what we're seeing is we're changing the blood. We're changing the DNA, we're changing the thermodynamics in it. And so we're doing a lot. I can show you some of the pictures of the work that we're doing to show you exactly how intense this really is. Let's see here. Because when we tune into somebody else's body, and when we really want to work on them, um, we are actually going to be shifting their energy. But not only that, there's a certain blood cleansing that also gets done. And we're noticing the clots, the red blood cells, and the plasma are all coming separately within the people that are being healed. Sorry, let's see. Oh, I can't bring it up for you guys. I don't know what's going on. Maybe.
Question when you get a sec.
Yep, go ahead and ask now.
So are you saying that basically when I'm going to say negative event happens within that frequency that you showed, the drawing, the green square is created at that moment in time, and
Yep,
it's sort of stuck in there, and then you can access that through the years, or, sort of rewind and find that green square and release it.
exactly that. Exactly that.
Okay.
Sometimes you can bend it by changing the frequency. It's a lot easier if you know anything like about oscilloscopes or anything. They can really show it, and I can even pull something like that up too. But whenever wherever we're speaking, we're talking, whenever there's any noise, there's always going to be a different shape to that noise. So like, here's an example. here's somebody that had major migraines. So what we're looking for when we're taking these images is we're looking for all red, because that's going to show us a lot more um, balance and circulation. So this was before, and this was after the energy healing. So what we're doing with her is making sure we gave her thermal energy, a lot of heat energy. So there's a lot of hands on with the hands that got the blood moving and got things moving. Once we changed her coding or her frequency back to somewhat its original, it released energetic toxins, not necessarily in the blood, that we're actually changing epigenetic. Well, it is within the blood too, as I'll show you here shortly. But um, let's see, this was a person that was having digestive issues. And so we were working more on the abdomen, and you can see that not a lot of energy there. This was after. We're even seeing different as the eyes. There's a study called eye genetics, and what that does is when we have little spots like this in our eye, that is showing that there's something wrong with maybe the intestines or something. These little black spots, and then we get these cloudy areas. Their eyes, the eyes are the markers to the soul, and you can see her eye here, and this was her afterwards. So we're putting brain scanners on our people here. Let's see where else we got these. Here's some blood pictures. And so when we're doing cleansing, and this is huge, and it really is big for the autism community. One of my big holdbacks that I've had is I've just been doing it one-on-one, because so many people are putting energy out to them right now, and some don't know how. So it's actually messing up with their coding. So I've just been holding back with love and, whatever they need. So this is before a healing, and you can see it's all cloudy. It's muddled there. Sorry, you can't see it too much in here. Let me see if I can do this. And then after the healing, we have the clots, we have the red blood cells, and we have the plasma, and we're seeing it really across the board on all the different people. This was a guy that was having congestional heart problems, and she had breast cancer. This was before, after. The pictures kind of get out. He was another headache person. Let's see. Going the wrong way here. Yeah, here's some that blood. You might be able to see a little bit better where the red blood cells and whatever. So it's really on a lot of different levels working it. We're even seeing it within bacteria, and this is a lot of the studies of what I'm doing outside of this work. But it does work on so many different levels that people don't even understand. So here's a oh goodness gracious, here's a before healing. So when we're looking at, let's see if I can get this right. This is the before, and this is the after. So we're seeing a lot more bacteria that's before, and then we're seeing that the bacteria is cleared after that too. And then I'm going to show this rather than just keep showing this too. So what I use a lot is oscilloscopes to explain what energy is, because so what oscilloscopes is there's an X and a Y graph, and it looks exactly like when we were in algebra, in school. And when we this one has a graph. This one's going to be a lot better. Okay, so when we are walking, we're always walking on a graph, up, down, all around, and whatnot. Certain points within ourself and certain sounds were hit on an X and Y graph. This is very much real. And what we can see with people, and same with oscilloscopes, is that we are all made out of energy. So if you think of, so this is an oscilloscope, and what that is, you can kind of see here that there's these lines. And then let's see if I can get in there. Maybe I can. But there's lines coming down here, so it's an actual graph. There's different signals that are being sent out. So these are different frequencies. This is much like the body. And so when we're looking at the body, when we're going through different experiences, we're just putting out energy through our nervous system, which would be the same as different circuits. So now we got the wire and we're thinking that we're putting that energy out, and that energy goes out everywhere. So now what this guy is going to do, so when we're building a person, when creators building a person, when we're creating anything, we're setting off these different frequencies on that X and Y. So what he's starting to do is he's starting to change the different frequencies in the output. So this is the specific wave that he's changing the wave by changing frequencies. And what you can see there is by just doing that, he's going to start to build these little mushrooms. And this is what's happening. I'll let you hear a little here. Down to he is making it sound. Stress 60. So watch this display. So how well it works. So this is what people are doing.
Into the shape of a mushroom, we need to multiply our left channel with a sine wave of the same frequency as the sawtooth. We're going to use the sine's last quarter. Of course, we want the mushroom to move, just like in real life.
So what we're doing in healing is we are just doing the same thing that the oscilloscope would do. And we're changing frequencies to make different shapes change. When he's talking, these are the actual frequencies that he's talking in. So this is his actual voice pattern that he has. When we're doing that healing, we are going in, and I mean, I'm actually seeing dials when I go, and we're changing that frequency. We're changing where that light is. Is it up? Is it down? Is it left? Is it right? Do we need to change it from a sawtooth to a square to a triangular or a sine wave? What kind of wave is the body going to be working with now within its new state of energy and the experiences that it's having now? Because a lot of times we're mixing in energies with other people's, and so we have to adapt to that new energy. So basically what we're doing is changing our hands, our forms, and that's really changing. Like from here, maybe I might have a sawtooth, and maybe I come down here, I put it on the X and Y at negative 10 and then positive 10, versus maybe it was at -4 and a +6. Well, that didn't work with it. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to change the wave, and I'm going to change where the light is. And what that's going to do is make a new coding for them. But I'm waiting and listening to the same tones that they're having. I'm waiting. If you can't hear it, you might feel it emotionally, you might feel it empathically, or you might actually feel it in a physical sense as far as your body doing different changes. I know that's a lot, but I mean, energy work explained in just a short time is really hard to do.
Well, thank you for all that. That was amazing.
Yeah. Did you have another question too?
One little follow-up was
Okay.
you had mentioned in there, as I think it was definitely where we want to try to get, in just working with our children. I can't find it in the notes, but sort of the Trinity, you, the person you're healing with, and then the divine energy coming in. And it seems like these guys are much more on the side of the divine energy than us, where it seems like we need to certainly do the work. It definitely feels that way. I guess the easier way I keep coming back to is we are so left side of the brain, and these guys are just always right side, and that we need to sort of come over to that side more to access them. And so, and then more so on that, does the person who is the person that is receiving the work sort of passive in this, or are they working on, people not on the spectrum, just somebody with the headaches or the different ailments? Are they consciously working on clearing their thoughts and being more available, or they can just receive it either way?
Yep. So first thing, they're both right and left brain. I hear I hear him coming in being like, our whole brain works more, you know. So
Yeah,
it was kind of a joke.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no, it's left and right. They do left and right. Second, I will tell you that the hardest thing for me as an energy healer is when people try to clear their brain or try to relax, because when they try to do that, they try to hide from everything that they're going through. So it's actually easier. I tell the people, go through whatever you need to go through. If you need to cry, you need to make noise, you need to scream, you need to laugh, you need to move, you need to do anything. All I'll ask for it and allow it and want it to happen, because anytime that you try to stay too still or you try to control anything when you are the recipient getting the energy work done, then what you're doing is just going against the natural flow. If you're, I mean, it is very common, and I get it a lot when I'm doing energy work, is that people are like, oh my gosh, memories were just coming so fast and I couldn't hang on to them. Well, those that try to hang on, that forgot, and they try to bring it back, then the energy gets stuck. My hand will literally just stop moving. Um, and we'll get stuck in that pattern, and I'll have to say, let it pass. And so they have to let that pass, because when you're doing energy work, it's like going through the files on your computer. What do you want? What don't you want? And we have to address it. Is this important? Is this not? And so a lot of times when you're receiving that energy work, you're falling asleep, or you're actually thinking about a lot more. If you're saying, I want you to heal, or the worst thing that people do is try to control their breath during energy work. Well, this is a very spiritual moment, and if you're trying at any point to hang on to your breath, you are hanging on to the human side. You are trying to control your physical side. Real energy work, I've been registered up to 5 minutes and 16 seconds not breathing, because I just have source coming through me. The breath's no longer important when you're in full spirituality. Now, getting the spirit and mind and body together, yeah, breathing experiences are good, because now you're becoming aware and you're setting that in, that place of, I'm going into spirituality, and that's what what your intent is at that time. So no. And I will also tell you, you don't even have to believe. And every single person that I have ever done energy work on that is a non-believer were the ones that got the most amount of healing done. Because when you know you're getting healed, it's like, what are they doing? Where are they going? And you believe in it. And so you have so many questions while it's happening. Well, if you're like, well, I ain't doing nothing to me, suddenly the person's crappy flopping on the whatever, because they were just open, thinking nothing was going to happen to them, and here they go. And they're always my best clients. Like, give me something that don't believe, and I'll make a believer out of them in 5 minutes. um so yeah, no, they don't need to do anything but just be themselves, and that's the best you're going to get out of energy for them.
Well, thank you for all that. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any questions or want to say anything? And hello to everyone new. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, Anya, you're
Unmute, yes. I wanted to ask, maybe it's a weird question, but I was thinking about it recently. I saw the posture correction specialist, whatever. So my daughter is sucking her thumb, used to suck her thumb, and then I put something on it, and then she just switched to these two. Then I put something on it. Then she will just switch to any finger. It doesn't even matter anymore. But she has this like, and I get it. Like she regulates through that, but she sucks it to the point because she doesn't feel that much pain, right? Or she's resistant to pain. Um, that she her nail bed like is off, so I have to put stuff, and then it's also like doing something to her. She has a cross bite to the side now, so we're gonna have to do braces and stuff like that. So whatever I do, she finds a way to suck. And now for months, for probably, yeah, since 12th of February, she has literal, I'll show you, like she walks like this. Everybody thinks she broke her arm. Like we have so many things on her hands so that she doesn't suck her fingers. But the moment I take it, and I thought, okay, we're just gonna keep it for a month and then we're gonna take it off and she's gonna forget it. The moment I take it off, even now, after months, she immediately starts sucking. So I wanted to ask if it's something, um, if it's a habit or if it's just an addiction, and we'll work through it. It's normal. Or if it's something else for her. Because what I heard the other day with this posture person who is saying that like it you can't just only put braces in without fixing something in the body, because through the vagus nerve and all of it, like the way you bite is influencing your organs, and like everything shows up in your body, right? And she says also the kids, when they're sucking their thumb, it doesn't have to be only addiction. It can also be that they can't regulate their nervous system because this thing like the what is it, the tongue tie is there, and then they can't really put their tongue on their upper, what is it, I don't know the words in English. So in order to regulate the nervous system, your tongue has to be all the way up touching the ceiling. But if this is tight, it's not touching, so they go to like sucking thumbs just to get that relief. So I thought, okay, this is so interesting. That could be the case for her because she literally doesn't care which finger it is. She does have a preference, but if I put something on, she'll just switch to another finger, no problem. Where other kids, like if you take that finger away, whichever it is, they're not going to go to another one. So I just wanted to see if you can connect to her and ask her, like, what is it? What do we do? How do I, what do I do with it? Do we just go and do braces? Because when they put that, it's gonna be fixed and she's not gonna be able to touch it anyway. So yeah, that's a weird question, a long one, but I had to do the explanation.
Uh, Interesting enough, she says it's a way to keep my energy within myself. I can close the circuit so that the energy does not release. I have a lot of energy that releases through my hands and my feet. So I don't know if she rubs her feet a lot or does something with her feet, but she says I have a
She
lot,
just
but it does especially come out through my hands. And sometimes I don't want it to come out through my hands. I want that energy because the energy that I'm sending out is actually really good. And sometimes I feel like I deserve it myself. Uh, yes, it is definitely a comfort thing, but it's comforting in the way that I'm bringing my own energy back to myself.
hmm. Hmm.
So she's showing like the way that I see it is like little lights, just coming out, and like you get the energy, and she's like, oh, I need to be fed my energy. And so like the lights just coming back into her, and like she's not giving it to anyone else. It's almost like she's like, you don't get my happiness right now, and then she takes it back.
Oh, I don't want to take that away from her.
She'll figure it out. She's
You.
like, I'll figure it out. You'll take me away from it. um
Thank
She
you.
understands though what you're doing and why you're doing it. She doesn't know why she needs fingernails though, because if you just let them have, she says, if you just let me suck them off, they won't grow back anymore, and it won't be an issue. Like, I don't know why fingernails are so important to you.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The world they live in. Thank
It's but a flesh wound. Daniela, how can I help you?
Hi. So this is question, maybe it's also connected to the last previous two questions. It's like addition
Okay.
for our kids healing and healing maybe other person and this energy through the hands. So we also had a situation with my son, especially lately with one of the therapists. It happened with different people occasionally, and especially with someone who is close to him around. But one of the therapists that she's working with him 3 years or so, and she's a really gentle, kind person, and helping Nicola a lot with his physical body. Like they are doing like one type of the sensory integration. So he really likes her, and now she noticed maybe what he will do with her is maybe holding with his left hand her right hand
Mm-hmm.
and like kind of doing some healing. But what she noticed that sometimes after this kind of things that happen from time to time, she will feel really exhausted. So running out of the energy. So I was like, oh, I'm not sure, it shouldn't be like probably Nicole is not taking away her energy. It's not like just like taking her energy and charging his batteries. So it's probably we're just guessing. So I just wanna to ask you, maybe you have a more knowledge about this for sure, or you can ask Nicola, whatever.
Yeah.
Or is it something like maybe he heal her, taking something, I don't know, something bad from her, and then because after that he will be so persistent and ask me to go to the bathroom and hold this left hand under the water at least for 10 minutes
Yes.
to clean it out. So it was really curious. There is other things that he's doing with me, especially, and maybe with dad and or someone else, when he's taking both hands and he will singing something like that sounds like a light language or something like that, and I will feel that I'm receiving energy. That he's healing me with both hands, but when he's doing with someone else with just one hand, and it's always not breaking, not crossing the body. It's always like either his left hand and person's right hand, right? And he feels really like touching the hand really nice. He's pulling me, so I was distracted. So that was like, yeah, one of my questions. Maybe I will have one more later if there is a time, but this is kind of really curious. Is this kind of a healing or it's what is it?
Yeah. What he's doing, he is taking, so she is right. But he's
Yeah,
taking her stress, and
yeah,
she has a lot of stress and
yeah.
emotional grief that not only her, that she's caring for her ancestors. And so
Hmm.
he says she's very nice, very kind, but very high strung inside. And so
Yes.
she he says, I'm not exhausting her, I'm relaxing her. And she doesn't know the same because she doesn't know how to relax. And
Yeah.
so he says, I'm just helping her relax so that I can calm her
Yeah.
and I down, because I really know that her intentions are good, and that, but sometimes she tries to act as like she must. He's not saying this in a bad way, but she tries to
Yeah.
act better than she is. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
not.
Understand. Yeah.
You get it? Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
And then she get it for sure. Yeah. But she will listen. I know.
Yeah, yep.
Eh,
And
eh,
so he says, yes, I'm healing. What he's doing with the water is what any healer should do. We should wash our hands afterwards. That's so
yeah.
important to get all that energy out.
Yeah.
Yes, he is doing energy work through his tones. And he says, I even try it with my mind, but some people I have to touch. He said, but I'm doing it
Yes.
with people that are across the room and 30 feet up in front of me. He says, that's how
Mhm.
much I can penetrate that, or like they can physically feel something's going on within 30 feet. He says sometimes the neighbors will feel it or something,
Yeah.
or people crossing by, or I don't know, but he's saying 30 feet. He goes, I can remote, but when I do it in the house, it's felt.
Yes.
So, he is a healer. He wants to be a healer. He wants to do more hands-on with a lot more people. His gift is relaxation,
Yeah.
and he says that he so- he softens, not he says I soften, but I don't pull. I soften the empathy in people, so it's not so hard to deal with. So he really works with empaths and people that have a lot of empathy for people that
Yes.
don't know maybe how to process those energies outside of that.
Yes. Yeah. That we notice. Yeah. Special attached to that kind of people. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I have one more, but I don't want to take. It's also important for us, but if there is someone else, maybe I can ask later.
If it's quick, go ahead. I do have
No worries.
hundreds that are also wanting to talk, and they're just
Okay,
not
yeah,
on
no,
here,
no worries.
and they
No,
were kind of making space.
no,
Let me say these. Let me do this.
yeah,
Let me say these, and then we'll see where we're at from
yeah.
here. Because I have a list of what was been
Don't worry.
talking about all week long. Um, one thing that I did want to talk about. So we're going to talk about, I had this dream and it was a very interesting dream. I'm actually going to make a better video about it. But I did want to talk about it because I was in this dream, and in this state I had gone into, I don't know if it was one specific body or multiple bodies. There was never mirrors. There was never anything for me to look into. But what was happening in the dream is I was the best way to say it, slipping into autism. It was just all of my friends, and I was going into their bodies and whatnot and feeling what they had. And I specifically went into this one gentleman that I work with. His name is Keenan. I went into a few, but I very specifically remember Keenan. And as I went in, I would be in the kitchen, and then suddenly somebody next door turned on a light, but that light was not stopped in the walls. It came through me, and it just made me like so uncomfortable, and it had to go through. And then I went to somebody else's body I know, and they were getting energy, and that's where the stimming was happening, is a sound. It was just like a movement that somebody did or words that somebody said, but it was always something sudden. And then it just like came through me, and it threw me back every time to where I couldn't take care of my body, and I had to make movement to like make sure that whatever came through didn't get stuck in my body and had to go somewhere else. They were explaining stimming that way, as they said. That's exactly what it sounds like. And then I was in a living room, and there was a mom that was in there, and it was nobody specific. It was just, I saw her as a mother figure, and as she came in, she had thought what a jerk that guy was, that I was driving in front of today. And she thought that, and it slipped me into the exact place of where the guy was. Not only where the guy was, he was not a good guy. He was just self-serving, very egotistical, very greedy, whatnot. And then all of a sudden it was flashing to all of the times that he ever said anything bad to anyone. Every time that he hurt people, I was hearing what he hurt, or what he said. I was hearing everything, but it was like I slipped into the bad part of consciousness, and that's all I could hear. And then once he was done, somebody else that said the same thing came through, and it was just the fastest, just of all of these emotions and all of these thoughts and all of these actions. It felt like I was getting beat myself when I watched somebody punch somebody else. Everything that the other that of consciousness that I was going through, I was so angry. I was so mad at the wife that wasn't even there. I wanted to go and hurt somebody, and hurt somebody I didn't even know. And all of these thoughts just came in, and I didn't know what to do. And I was just panicking. And I physically woke up, physically got up, and I'm still wondering, was it a dream or was it an intense vision that I slipped into after a dream? I don't know. When I woke up, Keenan was on my bed and I had hundreds, hundreds of my friends, every one of your kids, everyone that I talked to. I mean, it was everyone that I've ever talked to. And Keenan looked at me and they all looked at me and they were looking at me all strange because they saw what I was going through. And they said, "What did you do?" And I said, "What do you mean, what did I do? What did you do? You were just in that night, they didn't even, they said you were in like a wake mare. Like it's as though you were sleeping, but you were wide awake." And I just kind of looked and they said, "What did you do? How did you get out of it so fast?" And I said, "I woke up." And the looks on their faces to just, "What do you mean you just woke up? Like we get in there, we can't get out of it." Um, so I realize now that what they're going through, I have so many parents that are going through their children that are having aggressive outbursts and whatnot. And I couldn't understand it until that dream, that what they're going through is the bad part of consciousness and they're stuck in it. And we got to find a way to wake them up. And that's what now our mission is how do we wake them up? Like we could be screaming at them, we could be whatever. And one of them had said an ice cube would be really good. Put an ice cube on our back and wake us up. But what would you do to wake us up? But it goes back to, again, when people are sleepwalking and they say, be careful about waking them up because they'll get aggressive. So I just thought that was interesting. I'm going to make a video about that. But if that's really what they go through, I mean, that was really, really, really intense. And it was, now I know why that aggression is there, because they are being literally overtaken by it. And there was not a single thought in my life, in my memories, and my experiences that came through. When I was in that moment, it was literally about every single person outside of myself that had a space that was in that bad consciousness. And that's where, I personally at that time I just saw little attacks of these little demons and entities, but it wasn't like somebody was there just trying to get to me. And I know that some of the children and some of the family members, the adults, they go through that. It was just a very interesting thing. So that I wanted to kind of talk about. I've been getting a lot of messages about the statement that RFK had made about autism being a vaccine injury, and talking about these vaccines and stuff. Some of the words and some of the things that he said were not very nice to the autistic community, but I did want to channel, because I have so many different sides that are coming through that I wanted to sit, and this is why they're all behind me right now and in front of me and in here. I wanted to try my best to address this situation and what was said to the world, and I wanted to address it through the ones that are going through it, because as I said, there are so many different outlooks on that. So it's nobody and everybody that's in this room that I'm going to try to get this message for. I just know that they're sitting here wanting that really to come through. The statements that are being made today are both successful and also hurtful. We need to take it and we really need to look at what needs to be said and what needs and how it needs to be said. And I think that that's what the issue is the delivery of how it's being said. But some of us even understand why he's coming at it so aggressively and saying that this is a vaccine injury, and saying that the autism needs to be shut down. And I know those weren't his exact words, so they're saying like shut down in a way. For so long, so many of us that have been affected by the vaccines, the metals, the toxins, the way that the chemicals within the vaccine changed our brain, we have been silenced. We have been told that that is not true, that medical would never do that. The doctors denied us of it, but our parents saw it. We saw it. We went through it. We felt it. We experienced it. Something that is very real to many of us. So for those of people that are denying us and saying that no, autism is not that, this is a very important movement for us. Sorry that it came out in this way and it's being delivered very ugly, but it needs to be said, and it needs to come at harsh, and it needs to be loud, and it needs to be in a way that's going to push the status quo. It needs to be known that yes, vaccines are a contribute or do contribute to autism in some ways, but not all. Now we're flipping to the other side, and we're just kind of flipping in the general. Autism is a spectrum, and that's something that people don't understand. They don't understand that it's a spectrum. There's different genes, there's different parts in the brain, there's even different parts in the spinal cord that can cause the different autistic behaviors. There's not one specific way to diagnose autism. It is a spectrum, and it is depending on the doctor whether they want to go ahead. So there are people that have displayed a lot of autistic characteristics. However, they are not going to be told that unless their doctor was asked to diagnose them, or the doctor wanted to. Many times doctors didn't want to diagnose, and so it was easy to just say nothing happened, something changed, and they let the vaccine happen, and they didn't want to say exactly what did happen, nor did they have to, because autism, again, there's no specific test, there's not specific blood tests that you can do to pinpoint exactly what it is. We can pinpoint the mutations within the genes, and we can pinpoint the different side effects, such as stimming, not speaking, echolalia, moving back and forth, lack of sleep, different ways of handling emotion. So we can acknowledge those, and they say that that is autism. But it's not always true. A lot of us that are considered autistic actually have other things that are going on with us, but science is just saying that we have that. To the other side, that was not affected by the vaccine, we thank you for all of your courageous words and the things that you were saying. We are seeing a community that is really coming together for us, but we're also seeing it against us. Let it be known that anybody that goes against us right now is just a study case for us. For many years, you have studied us, you have acknowledged us, you have read us, you have tried to diagnose us, you have tried to do everything that you could possibly do to understand what we are going through, but you did the one thing that you didn't, that you did the one thing that you were trying to do that many wanted to do but did not accomplish, and that was truly taking the time to sit and understand us and observe us outside of your clinical hours. Very few have listened to our actual wants, needs, desires, understand our patterns, understand the way that our mind works, understand that we are something that is very boisterous, can talk, has the ability to change the energy, and has the ability to do things that you can't even comprehend. That being said, they are showing us, all of the naysayers, all of the people that are coming out right now that are going against different people, saying that telepathy exists, that autism exists, that we have a voice, that we were hurt by something that was given to us by the doctors. We need all of them. Let them come out of the woodwork. Let them show themselves. Let them show their concerns. Let them show their worries. Let them show all of it. And we will go and we will break them down systematically, because all they are doing is showing the flaws in the systems that we need to know so that we can fix it. We are here not to be cruel. We are here not to fight back, but we are here to fix. We will still love. We will still listen. We still understand our friends. Not all of us are built the same, just as not all of you are built the same. And we all, though, are built the same within the eyes of the universe, within the eyes of God, within the eyes of the Creator. We all have the same genes, while we all have different genes. And we want to bring this to order. If I give you a piece of paper that is white with a box of crayons that are white, would you ever make art? Would you ever make anything beautiful? Would you ever see the difference and the beauty in the colors? No, you would be stuck with nothing. That is equality. And we want to make it clear that equality is bland. It does not have the same contribution or beauty or displays that mixed diverse can have. We have diverse people in many different mental states, in many different educational states and cultures and belief systems, and we need them all. Please understand that. But please teach people that the way that we display ourselves needs to be properly displayed through kindness and through love. And when you see that, and when you can reach into your heart with kindness and love and truth, then you start to see the uniqueness within everyone. And each person becomes a different color of crayon. Now think of a crayon box that has all of the different colors. You can definitely write a lot more, can't you? We are all diverse. Some of us pink, some of us green. Don't put us into one box. We are a spectrum of light, which means we are a spectrum of multiple different colors, multiple different frequencies, multiple different thoughts, multiple different conditions, and multiple ways that we came about this condition. Do not put us into one box. We are not weak. We hear your thoughts. We hear your actions. We know what you want to do. Come out, be mean. Come out, say what you want to say, but never address us as useless. Never address us as worthless. Never tell people that they need to abandon us, because in fact, we're the ones that you need. We're the ones that can and will, if you listen and you understand and you take the time to get to know us, you will understand that we are here to expand your world and your knowledge in ways that you don't even have the ability to do so unless you have us on your side. You will soon see. We are the way. We are the Messiah. We are not just one. We come with many this time, because each time the Creator sends one Messiah, it gets killed. So now we send many, and all of us connected, and all of us know we don't need you scientists. We don't need you teachers. We don't need you people that say that you are educated. We don't need that. We want the people that believe in science and become scientists on their own. We want the teachers that become teachers because they love the knowledge and they want to speak what they taught or what they learned, and they want to teach what they learned. We want the lovers, the true gurus. Certificates mean nothing to us. Labels mean nothing to us. If it's not labeled in love, and it's not labeled in community, and it's not labeled in kindness, then we don't want anything to do with it. And know each time that you speak, know each time that you say something, you are affecting the whole. So please, people, give the information that you know about autism, but don't put us down when doing it. And please understand, you're as different as us. And one could say, but we're not saying. But we could say, but again, we're not. You're the weird ones for not understanding us. You're the weird ones for not understanding your basic code, your basic emotion, your basic telepathy, your basic language. A lot of you don't understand your basics. And that's okay. We think that's kind of weird too. We don't understand that. But we don't think you're weird because of that. We think you're beautiful because of that. Because you give us a different perspective that we would have never understood. We would have never been able to experience or to study. And so that opposition gives us opportunity to grow into something else. We love you all. We are the telepathy family. We are here for the whole, not for the individual. For those who are here for the individual, we feel sorry. For those who are upset, please listen to the messages with your heart, and please write with your heart, because it needs to be said. A lot of the things that are coming out right now need to be said, just not in the way that they're being presented. Let's talk about it factually, and let's talk about it through science, and let's talk about the true facts. Leave the feelings out of it. Your personal opinion has nothing to do with us right now. The facts are the only things that need to be said and pointed out. Thank you. All right. Anybody else want to talk or comment or ask any questions? Just letting it all sink in. That's okay. I'm gonna leave this if no one has anything else. I don't know, Daniela, if you had anything else that you wanted to say. You know, you had a question, or if you want to leave it at that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if it is like really special this energy right now after you, so I don't want to maybe mess up. Maybe you can leave for another time. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that being said, we're gonna, we can I'll try to hold energy sessions maybe once a week. Also outside of the Let's Be Telepathy. I think that is really needed for people, and I'll give it to whoever wants to show up, most definitely. And I think we're all in a kind of a point of healing. But yeah, who can really top what they had to say? They did it. That being said, also, I don't want to break the message, so go back, listen to that. But I do have to come out and I have to say something publicly that I can't hold back anymore. I can't hold off anymore. As many of you know, I'm very connected to a lot of people. Work with a lot of people that are telepathic, and they've been tattling on me, and the guides have been tattling on me, and I've had a lot of people checking in. A lot of people, I've had people write, Melissa's not well, Melissa is sick. We need to help her out. A lot of people just reaching out saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to help. The guides are talking. That being said, some of you know I have neuroblastoma, which is a terminal cancer, and it was going really good for a while there. My expiration was last October, and I worked my butt off for 2 years to get rid of it, doing it as much as I could naturally. Results were great in December. Everything seemed clear, and I don't know what happened. 3 weeks ago, my husband told me I had to go to the doctor. I wasn't acting the same, and I was getting tired and lethargic. My skin was turning purple. I started not being able to hold my food down. I have been so tired. So we went to the doctor, and my labs are not good, and my cancer markers are the highest that they've ever been. I am going to continue doing what I do. This is my passion. This is my motivation. I'm going to try to uphold as many schedules and meetings as I can. I am going back into treatment. My body, as of Friday, was kind of rejecting it. I had to be transferred somewhere else, just because I had too many pokes in my skin. We couldn't get stuff in. I had a little reaction to everything, and my body just really didn't want to take it at all, and kind of shut down taking that. So my vitamin C is what I take. I'm going to continue. I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to stay as positive as I can and continue to think that this is a gift from God to show what a great healer I am. And I just, it was hard for me to process for a while just because I generally forgot that I had cancer. I was just living life like, oh, well. And now I remember. And I've been very happy the whole time. And I don't know what happened this last few weeks. It just hit me so hard because I just believed I was doing good. I believed I was out of it. And it was like hearing it for the first time. I've been a little off the telepathy line. So I've had a lot of people being like, have you checked in? Have you checked in? That being said, up until May 13th, I'm going to be going through my treatments. They're pretty hard on me. My emotional state is right now, just as I work through this. And again, I'm trying to stay positive. It's still coming. I just told my mom 2 days ago and my family. So now people know about it. And I just had to be honest with all of you because so many of your people and you guys are checking in and asking a lot of questions. So it just is the time now where when I have my friends, your children saying, Melissa's sick, we'll check into Melissa. It's now affecting the outside family. It's not just me, it's your guys' kids. So I'm going to work as hard as I can. We're going to get through it and I'm going to do what I can do. I'm going to try to keep up with the appointments, going to keep up with Let's Be Telepathy. God forbid anything ever happens and I don't make it through or something happens overnight. I just really want to let everyone know I love you all. You guys got me off the couch. And this is something I know I can do at home. This is something I know I can work with. And so I'm going to continue it because this is my driving force right now. As long as my mycelium and a few other things. But I love you all. And sorry for anybody that I made uncomfortable. Anyone that heard the messages before I spoke it. It was just something I had to process and I was really trying to hide, but silly me, right? We're talking about all this. Of course, they all feel it. They know what I'm going through. So I guess we're all going to work through it together, they say. And we're going to beat this thing. I know it. I just, and if I don't beat it, I still beat it because I got out of this dang life that's so crazy right now. And I'm gonna put some blessings on all of you guys. So when you guys are like, "Is that Melissa?" Yes, it is. Yes, it will be me. And I'm gonna come give each of you a very big hug on the other side if that happens. But I'm hoping it doesn't. Sorry to make it so beautiful and then drop that, but I have too many people writing me daily now, so I have to say it out loud. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna close the show. I love you all. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for being brave to all those brave souls that are coming forward and talking about what they talked about today. We had some really interesting things, and I'm saying too much, so I know it's my time to go. Love you all. Have a great one. Bye.